They're all cowards who, in that very moment, when push came to shove and they were on the other side of the insurrection, were like, oh my God, please stop now. But immediately after, they still said, not the worst thing, and maybe even it was fake. But even if it wasn't fake, it's actually good.
Not yet begun. My fellow Americans,
so bad.
For our movement, for our children, and for our beloved country. And I say this, despite all that's happened, the best is yet to come.
January 6, 2021, 1:10 p.m., former President Trump ended a speech to supporters on the National Mall. 4:17 p.m., Trump tweeted a video telling those supporters to go home. This is a chronological look at what happened at the U.S. Capitol between those events. Most footage is from original posts on Snapchat, Parler, YouTube, and other social media platforms. Posts are included to give a nuanced understanding of people's experiences, the various reasons they were there, and how they view their actions. Fox News' coverage and commentary often told a very different story than video captured by people at the event. The January 6th committee confirmed former President Trump watched Fox News throughout the day, so the network's coverage has been included to show what was likely his perspective. Footage has been placed within a minute on the timeline based on metadata, visual cues, and reports from journalists and the January 6th committee.
Thank you all for being here. This is incredible. Thank you very much. Thank
you. Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Arizona seems to be regular in form and authentic.
I, Paul Gosar from Arizona.
What purpose does the gentleman from Arizona rise?
I rise for myself and 60 of my colleagues to object to the counting of the electoral ballots from Arizona.
Is the objection in writing and signed by a senator?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Got to storm the fucking Capitol. We're gonna break the doors down. They're already at the doorstep.
George didn't win them all, but he won the important ones. Right? Christmas Day surprise. Never forget that.
I find it quite strange and unprincipled that people look to this and think that this is anything but peaceful. Really. I just think it's like a very normal day, and these guys just simply wanted to see what was going on inside the Capitol, in our nation's beautiful capital. If anything, you know what happened? What happened is, these are some of the most passionate people about politics, and the government punished them for their passion, for wanting to, embrace our politicians and be inside the sacred halls of Congress after being invited by the president.
Arizona's vote, and these people are pissed. President Trump is here at the Capitol building with us. We saw the motorcade. Shit is about to get real.
It is pretty funny that they kept reiterating that the president is with them.
Hi guys, we got Salty Dabs here. Thank you to all of you who donated to get me here. I got some new friends here I'd like to share. We got Stephanie here, Patriot. We got Juan Pablo, hello, JP, and we are so excited to be here.
At 1:25 p.m., President Trump reportedly sat down in his private dining room near the Oval Office and watched Fox News until 4 p.m. The White House photographer was told not to take photos of Trump in the dining room.
Madam Speaker, both sides could come. Clerks of court were there in the hearing rooms. It was an open process, by the way, not behind closed doors in a smoke-filled room where somebody might want to bully a Secretary of State to get a different version that might benefit them or their party or their candidate.
We represent blue lives, and this is what they do to us. Remember, you old tyrants! When Black Lives Matter say blue lives don't, we say you do! I know they do. Tyrants!
Inbound Washington, D.C. Blocking the doors, won't let us in.
Which is fucked up.
We got to storm the place. We're going in.
Smoking my joint on the pepper.
Freedom! Unchain my freedom!
We are pulling away. Now remember, both chambers are debating the objections to the electoral vote right now to the state of Arizona. And as other states come up, this is what we will see today.
The blood of Jesus!
But over and over, the courts rejected these claims, including all-star judges whom the president himself has nominated.
You don't get that.
We're on the steps of the Capitol here. The people that were watching the Trump speech have marched down here and had a confrontation with the police. They're standing in the front and the police have come down and started macing people.
People say Antifa wasn't there. I say Antifa was there. Vice News, hello? That's literally Antifa. As an Antifa infiltrator.
They push them back as they approach pushing through the Capitol. The police are pushing back the protesters and firing concussion grenades at the Trump protesters, which is something totally new against protesters for Trump instead of protesters against him.
See? Antifa!
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here!
That's a child.
Now get the fuck out of here! Hey, welcome!
Government, my colleagues, requires a shared commitment to the truth and a shared respect for the ground rules of our system. We cannot keep drifting apart into two separate tribes with a separate set of facts and separate realities.
This is CNN. Better not be CNN.
Yep.
Calm down. It doesn't matter.
It better not be CNN.
Get the bench.
Like, what are you gonna do, bro? Kill him? Like, what the fuck?
Congress will either override the voters, overrule them, the voters, the states, and the courts for the first time ever, or honor the people's decision.
I am very concerned about Mike Pence. I have no idea what he's going to do. Did not love the way the president talked about that. And I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, we're walking over to the Capitol right now, and I don't know, maybe we'll break down the doors.
That is the Holy Spirit movement here in Washington, D.C.
And out of every single person I talked to, I asked all of them one question. I said, will you recognize a President Biden if indeed Congress certifies him? And every single one said no. Now, the president, as we all saw, fired this crowd up. They've all, tens of thousands, maybe 100,000 or
That's
more,
Fox
have
News, by
gone
the way.
down to the Capitol or elsewhere in the city, and they're very upset.
What happens to the energy and perhaps in some cases the brokenheartedness of those Trump supporters, more than 74 million who voted for him, who believe him when he says that this process can be overturned and that there can be recertification in states? And today he even used the word revote.
I was up here peacefully praying for a police officer when I was shot in the face with a flashbang grenade. You can't hear out of my left ear. I have second-degree burns on my face. My hair caught on fire. I can barely see out of this side. I know.
We're going to try and get compliance, but this is now effectively a riot.
49 hours declaring it a riot.
Believe the election that just occurred, quote, was rigged. You may not agree with that assessment, but it is nonetheless a reality for nearly half the country.
We won this election, and as much as
I love that a lot of this gripe revolves around like almost every single conservative agenda item, which is no matter how stupid, ridiculous, obviously incorrect my opinion might be, no matter how dumb it might be, no matter how violent it might be, you have to take it seriously. Because I'm an American, I'm exceptional, and my opinions are unique. Okay? And because I believe it, it is now basically the same as it being real. And that's precisely what this is. It's just like even Ted Cruz is right there being like, well, you know, no matter what you think, it don't matter because half the country doesn't believe it. And it's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, that's so stupid. Oh, I got it. Okay, cool. They believe it. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do with that information? 60% of the fucking country think angels are real. You know what I mean? If they were trying to do fucking legislation surrounding that somehow, I'd be like, nah, it's not going to happen.
not seeing the Trump flags flying over this, we need to not have the confrontation with the police. They're going to make that the story. Police are throwing flashbangs. We don't want to have a Kent State here.
Motherfucker, tonight, we're at the door. We're right here. We're coming in. We're not stopping us now, goddammit. This is our house, motherfuckers.
That's all right.
That's a fucking war room.
I took my teeth out, put my fucking glasses on my mind.
Get out of here. Let's go. Help him out. Help him out. Let's go. Hold the line. Hold the line.
42. We're about 5 miles out. We're trying to make our way through all this.
It is so funny because like this has happened to people for like honorable stuff, right? Like this has happened to people. Like people have been duking out with cops over their beliefs in perpetuity. It's like at the basis of history, there's always like a power struggle. There's always like a group of people who are engaging in actions that are against like those in positions of power. And you make that assessment off of not necessarily just the success of the movement overall, but you make that assessment off of like what the cause is, right? Is the cause just or not? And because this overall was such a stupid thing, and it was for such a stupid reason, and it was executed in the stupidest ways possible, that plenty of people immediately were like, yeah, no, dog. These guys are gay, communist, Antifa, actually. Or it actually wasn't a protest. It was peaceful, and people just simply walked into the Capitol. Like you would ride for it in the same way that people ride for, the Black Lives Matter protests. Like, or people say, like, listen, it doesn't matter that if it was like a riot or not. It was like their cause is just. For these guys, they can't even take ownership over it, which is kind of sad. You know what I mean? Because deep down inside, a lot of people basically understand that it was a really stupid thing to do.
We're storming the Capitol. Hell yeah! And you know what? Every damn one of us needs to be up there pushing the damn front doors in and dragging their asses out here. Because they work for us. And they work for the Chinese. And they turn their back on us. And until America gets serious about taking back our country, they're not going to take us serious. Amen. The real Johnny Bravo on Parler. You can't miss me. Follow me.
Oh my God. The real Johnny Bravo on Parler.
You know, I think it's hard to understate the drama and the history that we're witnessing today, Dana. We have watched peaceful transition after peaceful transition in our governments over many, many decades. And what you have here is a very dramatic turnout at this protest. You have a president of the United States who spoke to these crowds on the ellipse and said, I will not concede, and believes that he did not lose this presidential election. And the people in that crowd absolutely believe that, too.
Fuck you guys! You can't even call yourself American!
And Chris, maybe we could talk about that for a moment, because for all of the concern about all of this, the Constitution and the institution holds.
That's tear gas. It's probably going to reach me. My eyes are probably going to sting in a second here.
And that you've got a big unruly crowd on the steps of the Capitol. That doesn't change the Constitution.
Tear gas and patriots. This is fucking history. We're all part of this fucking history.
That would make such a mockery of democracy if we put it in the hands of one person, the sitting vice president of the United States, to decide who the electors are.
Stop you there for just one moment, because we do have some breaking news. We want to bring in congressional correspondent Chad Pergram, as this is just all developing right now. Chad, I understand the Capitol is now on lockdown.
I'm glad we can put aside politics on a day like this and celebrate the true patriots. Yeah.
We have a breach of the Capitol. Breach of the Capitol to the upper level.
Jack, be advised, they're requesting additional resources on the east side as they've broken into that window and they're trying to kick it in.
Thank you for the TOR boarding. Derek Evans is in the Capitol.
It's not like it's a siege, it doesn't seem. It seems like they are protesting, but they're clearly pushing back by some of the barricades.
It's so awesome. Things have gotten worse under Sleepy Joe.
Open the doors. We made it. We out here, son.
Why did you come here? Because President Trump told us we had something big to look forward to, and I believe that Vice President Pence was going to certify the electoral votes or not certify them, but I guess that's just changed, correct? And it's a very big disappointment. I think there's several 100,000 people here that are very disappointed, but I still believe President Trump has something else left.
Yeah, we should say that, you know, as we're saying it's peaceful, we're seeing the images on the outside. We are having a couple of reports of people being injured in this breach of the security.
Oh, this is 2021, y'all. This is insanity. Holy shit. What is this? What is life? What is life right now?
Take off your weapons! Take off your badges! Take off your helmets and show solidarity with we the people, or we're gonna run over you!
Capitol Police just announced that there was a breach. Somebody or some people got into the building past security, so they've locked the chamber in the House and they've locked the chamber in the Senate. Everything seems safe, but they're taking no chances.
That's right, y'all gassed your fucking self. You gassed your fucking self.
You sure did.
I can't do it anymore.
To be fair, that's just regular cop shit. Getting incredibly horny to gas protesters and then accidentally gassing yourself is like the basic. That happens all the time. I mean, obviously, to these guys, it's like this is their first time, right? Because if you're an HVAC small business owner, Republican guy, you've never, what would you have to protest? You got nothing to protest for. So you've never actually had to experience that. Experienced protesters know this. The thing happens all the time.
Oh my gosh, we just got tear gassed in the middle of a prayer. Are you kidding me?
Lay down your weapons! Those weapons belong to us!
He's also ashamed. They're ashamed. They're putting their heads down.
Give me my helmet!
During the inauguration of President Obama, there was one fellow who got in kind of past where he needed to be and climbed up a tree and was there and yelling during the entire inauguration ceremony. And they continued. The U.S. Capitol Police made a decision it was going to cause more of a disruption to get him out of that tree, whether or not to leave them up there. So sometimes they do give people a little bit of deference.
Oh, yeah! Whoa!
Yeah, excuse me. That was also a fucking Republican. Yeah, they only give, weirdly enough, they only give right-wing people deference. So odd.
What the fuck? They broke through. It's on. They're gonna beat the fuck out of that guy. The cops are beating the fuck out of that guy.
Patriots. They're beating up patriots.
Biblical day. That's it.
You're lucky I don't piss on you.
We're trying to hold the upper deck. We are trying to hold the upper deck now. We need to hold the doors of the Capitol.
Good luck, punk!
It's crazy how many Antifa guys are there saying all these things, right?
You better watch your head, you fucking bitch!
All MPDs, get back! All MPDs, get back up to the upper deck! All MPDs, get back to the upper deck!
It's over! You better run, cops!
You better fucking run!
Oh, fuck! See how fast the cops turn around once they fucking saw the numbers game.
It's amazing.
Put your mask on.
Hey, what's your name? Hans. Huh? Hans. Thank you for taking your bullet. I'm going to get mine.
That's right.
Laura Ingram texting Mark Meadows. Oh, God. So spicy. So hot, the pepper. Fuck.
We don't want war. We're prepared to fight for our liberty. What's your name?
Cliff.
From where?
Ohio.
Ohio, thank you for your service.
Whatever it takes for my fucking country.
All day. He took that like I've never seen before. Woo! He took it all day. He took their abuse over and over and over.
I'm not done.
He just stayed put. He just pushed hard.
I'm from Rochester, New York. Thank you for your service. I'm not trying to fight nobody. I got pushed. I was saying I had salt for my pepper, and they sprayed me with more pepper. I didn't have. And you fucking took it like a man. I didn't have enough salt for my pepper. You didn't have enough pepper. You want more pepper?
Speak to Pelosi? Yeah, we're coming, bitch. Oh, my bitch. We're coming for you too, fucking traitor.
We were just told that there has been tear gas in the rotunda, and we're being instructed to each of us get a gas mask that are under our seats.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
We're following the instructions from the Capitol Police, who are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, the wildest part about it is that, and I'm not even kidding about this, like the black protesters literally got worse sentences. Like straight up. It's so crazy. It is so crazy that the black protesters got worse sentences than the white ones. And it's the same as like the RICO case in Georgia. Out of all of the co-defendants, the one that was not given bail was the black guy. In the Trump RICO case, the one person that did not get bail was the black guy. Which is so funny that it's just like, it doesn't matter if you're a hog. In the eyes of the criminal justice system, like, you're still black. You know what I mean? Nope, not going to happen. Like, they, in that very moment, think they're a part of the in-group, right? But when push comes to shove, they're not.
Downstairs into the basement.
I mean, look at this. Look at that. Like, inherently a guy who says that is right-wing. Right? Like, that's a reactionary ass approach. And it's so funny. This is why being like a black conservative is hilarious. Because you are constantly surrounded by people like this who just automatically assume, by virtue of the color of your skin, that like you are inferior, like you are more predisposed to doing crime, and yada yada yada. Yeah, see, the only thing they can say is they get judged harder for drugs, but violent crime is definitely worse for them. See, he's doing it. He's like trying to defend the perspective. And they commit, AKA they commit more violent crime. Yeah. Black people are policed more than white people. They get harder sentencing than white people across the board. And black people on average live in worse economic circumstances than white people on average do. If you are to try to figure out if black people are more predisposed to crime over white people and not want to sound racist, what you would have to do is look and adjust for their class position, look and adjust for their financial circumstances in general, and their social safety nets, their material conditions in general, and then readjust. I agree with all that. Black communities are more policed, therefore caught more, but they definitely do have more of the shootings. Again, you're not doing the thing that I'm explaining to you. Okay? Black communities are at a material disadvantage. It is poverty that causes violent crimes to occur, or the likelihood of violent crimes to occur. But regardless, notice how this person came up and was like, blacks are more violent, lol. They do more violent crime, Lamau. If you're a black person and a conservative, this is the guy you have on your side. But that doesn't mean they need to shoot people. I know, man. Except, notice how you're grouping black people in specifically as like being more predisposed to do violent crime. White people comprise the largest, broadest majority of pedophiles. White men specifically. Okay? But you don't have that same exact energy towards white men. You don't go, why are white men so pedophilic? Why can't white men stop being pedophilic? They need to stop being pedophilic. That doesn't mean you can fuck children if you're a white man, right? They are the broadest majority. They're responsible for the largest amount of school shootings as well. You know? It's the grouping that you engage in that is the problem here. You don't do this for any other kind of group. You do it for black people. You do it for marginalized people. You don't do it for the in-group. You don't do it for white people. So stop trying to double down here and try to contextualize your racism, especially towards people who've been doing this for a very long time. I mean, this is literally what I do. You're literally encouraging your chat to hate white people. Wait. Back when I used to do crime, I was black. Now that I'm not a criminal anymore, I'm white. So explain that to me. You're literally encouraging your chat to hate white people. Okay. 69.4% of the arrests are white people. Yeah, I mean, that's also 60% of the population. That's insane. Actually, Jews are the most pedos, this guy said. I'm glad that we're doing this now because, like, there's a lot of freaks in here, and sometimes you got to do a little bit of cleaning in the chat. You know? Anyway. The point is this, right? Bro, what happened to yelling at and banning the racists? I'm not yelling at them, and I am banning people, but I'm not yelling at them. My point is, you don't think about white men in the same way that you think about black men. Because black men are a part of a marginalized community. And therefore, you immediately make the assertion, the false assertion, Jews controlling the U.S. Nice, okay. Any more of that? You make the false assertion that like all black men are more predisposed towards violent acts, or you generalize black men in engaging in violent acts. All right. The hat is attracting the hogs. Yeah. Well, I want the hogs. I miss them. Let's continue.
I'm fine, man. I'm great, man. Sorry, man.
Guys, thank you. Thank you for each other. Thank you for letting us stand up for our country and what we believe in. Guide us so we may do your will.
I agree with Congressman Mast from Florida.
What
This
happened
is
to the other hat? I
unacceptable
swapped it.
behavior. We are a democracy. We're a republic. We have a right to peacefully protest, but an attempt to stop the actions of a constitutionally required session of the United States Congress is beyond the pale.
Grab it down. Grab it down. Oh, they censored it. It's all censored. I still to this day maintain that this was an act of police brutality, which many people get mad at me for, but I do think it's true. It's definitely a more valid instance of, like, you know, using violent force. But I still don't think it's like I don't think a cop should be able to use a gun until there's another gun present. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Active shooter. Yo, there's an active shooter here. Get her down.
There's an active shooter here. There's an active shooter here. And it's like, no, man, it's a cop, brother. That's like, Hogs went like Second Amendment rights mode so quick where they think like, no way, a cop actually shot a gun at a patriot. And there must be an active shooter here. Yeah, I guess you could call it that. After all, the cop was actively shooting.
Took over the Capitol, overran the Capitol.
We're in the fucking Capitol, bro. Get the fuck back! No! Get the fuck back! You want to be next?
One tweet from the president about the safety of Capitol Police, I don't think is going to cut it. After the speech that we just heard from President Trump, and after a campaign in which he said he was a law and order candidate.
Here's the next rush.
This is our house. This is not their house. Our tax money paid their salaries. Our tax money pays everything. It pays for that freaking $40,000 a year furniture allotment.
I don't think that Donald Trump thought that this was going to be successful. I think he didn't want to stop it because, one, he wanted to punish everybody. And two, I feel like he kind of liked it. Like, these people love me so much. That's why they're doing it. You know what I mean? I'm a firm believer that Donald Trump kicked his feet up and watched what was going on television and liked it. Like, it was an ego boost type situation. And that's why it took a sweet time to see how far it would go. I think you still thought it would work? No. No. Dog, come on. Like, dude, first of all, work in what direction? Like, I mean, I think he's delusional, sure, but like, work in what direction? You think you could like actually stop the certification of the votes? It's so funny that my commentary over the course of the past 3 years has not changed at all. Like, if you go back and watch my January 6th coverage in real time as it was happening, none of my approach to the matter changed. I laughed about it back then, even though people were yelling at me. And I said the exact same things then that I did now, which is that it is so unimaginably stupid to think that you can stop the certification process and that somehow will recreate, like re-trigger a new election. It's literally symbolic. It's simply a symbolic act. It's not like a real thing. There is no real magical verification process. Yeah, destroy the files by destroying the computer ass shit. Exactly. The other stuff that he tried to do behind the scenes, and I've said this before, like phone calls, like the perfect phone call, you know, trying to get the Secretary of States to like play along and find votes, like that is real. That is the actual way that you try to steal an election. It was still done without having like the appropriate loyalists on board. So even then it was like more of a Hail Mary on his side. But that's a real move. This is ridiculous. This is pure narcissism. This is a demonstration of your own power and influence. This is someone that personally wanted to see how far people will go for him. Republicans are the best at stopping people from going out and voting. They do that systematically, though. That's the difference, right? Purging names from the voter ballots, shutting off polling stations in poor neighborhoods and black neighborhoods, brown neighborhoods. That is how you do it. That's how you actually try to win, by cheating. Voter ID measures and the like. But once the voting process is over and the votes have been tabulated, you can try and do recounts, which Trump certainly did try. Right? But you can't really, you can't really put the toothpaste back in the tube. Right? No, but if Mike Pence had just said, I don't trust the integrity of the submitted electoral votes, I'm kicking this back to the states to recount or whatever, then Trump would have had a set of fraudulent electors be submitted at that time. That was the end goal of this attempted coup. Even then, you don't think he wanted to stop the cert process long enough to get the fake electors installed with the fake certs to be approved, which was the main goal? Can't just skip the fake elector plot. I think it's real. The fake elector plot obviously is real. It's like a big part of this process, certainly. But even that is like, I mean, demonstrably, it was a failure. It failed. Guys, think bigger for a brief moment and not get captured in like the liberal narrative, or rather like what Trump's goals were and how serious they were. That's still prosecutable, by the way. But how do you think that would have worked? Like, there is no world in which a state that voted for the Democratic Party overwhelmingly was going to be able to change the results with fake electors, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Like, are you guys crazy? Like, there is no world in which he was going to be able to go, yeah, sorry, everybody, in like Michigan, you actually lost. That's insane. There is no world in which this would have been real. It's the same level of stupidity as this. Trying to stop the vote certification. Every part of this process was put together with ticker tape and was ultimately incredibly idiotic. No, 2001 was not equally stupid. It was not. Because that happened in a state where we didn't know who had won at that point. And as a matter of fact, we thought George W. Bush had won at that point. They stopped the recount. Not 9/11, sorry. 2000, not 2001. They stopped the recount. That's very different. And utilized the Supreme Court. They stopped the recount and utilized the Supreme Court in one state that went to George W. Bush already, and the recount were to potentially show that Al Gore had won. Okay? That is very different than having the states already have certified their votes, having those votes be recounted 1,000 times over after the Democratic Party had won and won and won and won again, having those votes be tabulated at the Capitol, and then have like an additional certification process. That is very different than doing this in one state before there is certainty that one party won over the other, or rather, George W. Bush is the one who won. A better comparison to 2000 would be if the Hogs got their stop the count, start the count issues across while the ballots were being counted early on. Okay? That would be a better comparison if they were to activate in every state, which they tried, and that failed. And once that fails, it's Jover. Like, January 6th is far gone at that point. It's like, this is what I try to stress is that it was Jover. It was done. You don't change the results of an election 14 days before the inauguration. What are you, crazy? You try to change it by actively tampering with the process of tabulating the votes. But you can't actually change the election at that point. It's way too far gone, and that's why I'm saying like it was very stupid. The best way to change the outcome of an election and to ensure that it's not democratic is before you ever vote. If you're super lucky or super clever, I guess, you can maybe massage the results immediately after, right? With some trickery. With George W. Bush in Florida, there was luck involved. A lot of luck. That's why my point is, this was just not even like really a Hail Mary. This was a Hail Mary for the believers, but for Trump, it was more like narcissism to let this continue for as long as it did.
In their offices while we've got families that are starving in the street.
We've seen lots of protests around Washington, D.C., some of them peaceful, some of them violent. I've never seen a group of protesters lay siege to the...
No. Brooks Brothers rioters didn't get lucky. No, that was deliberate. No, the ones who got lucky was the Bush team. No, the No Pixel Insurrection is not in 30 minutes. Okay? I love you guys, but I'm also talking to people directly involved, okay? Like, I know when it's actually going to happen. You guys have been asking me to go and join the No Pixel Insurrection for the past 30 minutes. I love you, chat. I don't want to yell at you, but I know what's going on, okay? I know it's like a planned thing. It's an inside job, if you will. Okay? Think about it like me being the Laura Ingraham texting Mark Meadows in this circumstance. And instead of texting Mark Meadows to quiet down or dial it back, I'm actually trying to figure out exactly when it's going to happen.
The Capitol building.
That's what we fucking need to have 30,000 guns up here.
That's true.
That's what we need.
We're driving, not flying.
The Supreme Court's not going to help us. No one's going to help us. We got to help ourselves.
I love you guys, your brothers, but we can't be disrespectful.
Don't disrespect.
They can steal an election, but we can't sit in their chairs?
No!
Well, Congress, cowards hid in their inside and were emergency escorted away because of fear of the people.
Seeing my man with the keffiyeh is so crazy.
Of course, course, they're cowards, can't face the people, can't do the right thing. Pence lied to us. He's a total treasonous pig.
Just to let you know, I'm not
his
involved
name
in
will
this.
be mud forever.
But they're
Now
pepper
the real
spraying
battle
us in the
begins.
Capitol.
Wow. Big homie the Kafia actually has realized that this is a lost cause, and he's like, actually, I'm only here as an observer. Like, sir, I'm a legal observer of the Admiralty Court. That's right. I do not have a law degree. I am, however, proficient in the ways of Admiralty Maritime Court, sir. I am here as a legal observer.
And it looks like the American people are very
They're
pissed.
pepper spraying in the Capitol.
So, good luck with that. Peace out.
I don't want to say that what we're doing is right.
Damn, turns out he got 6 charges, dog. Maybe he wasn't a legal observer.
But if the election's being stolen, what is it going to take?
You're going to start a war.
Really? Is it going to take people just talking about it?
That's the
He's like, I'm here as a legal observer, but also I kind of vibe with the protesters. That's so funny. He's like, hey guys, please don't arrest me. I realize that the things are really bad right now. But also simultaneously, but these guys, they do have some good ideas.
I'm probably gonna lose my job as a pastor after this, but what is it gonna take?
We have taken the Capitol. It was ours. Now we'll see what side the military are on.
Give me my bullet! I want my tear gas! I want that door right there!
It's like, Your Honor, I didn't realize being a legal observer was illegal. He's a youth pastor, bro. Feds come for youth pastor who was fired after bragging about storming the Capitol. Excuse me, fake news. He was an observer. I recently learned that my uncle and aunt were there. Give him up to the authorities if you don't like him. That'd be pretty funny. Or threaten them with snitching. Be like, uncle, you need to, like, if I was under the age of 17, okay, and I wanted to, like, watch a mature, or get a mature video game that my mom and dad would not let me, I would literally be like, listen, Unc, PlayStation 5, Grand Theft Auto PlayStation 5 edition, at my doorstep by tomorrow. If not, I am literally going to go to the authorities and tell them that you were at January 6th. I'm going to tell your wife, I'm going to tell the authorities your wife was there too. Okay? Fuck that shit, asking for a house. Yeah, bro, that's like, that's way too much. That's a house, dude. Come on, be reasonable. Unc barely has a house for himself. No, ask for something reasonable. Guys, that's like half the battle is figuring out what you can get. Yo, ask for $1 million. It's like, what are you, a baby? Are you a baby? That's how babies work. Like, I feel like that's how I would have operated when I was an actual baby. I'd be like, why don't you ask for $1 billion? It's like, no, ask for something that is reasonable so you can actually get it. Are people who did January 8th in Brazil, what can I get? Yeah, I don't know how that works. I feel like, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know if there was like prosecutions for those people. Or maybe they were just like in support of it or something. I don't know.
Gotta be something in here we can fucking use against these scumbags.
So we're here at the front steps of the Capitol building. We've been met with resistance by the police department. They are standing here and they're not letting us proceed any further. They've arrested a couple people. They've maced us. They've shot rubber bullets at us. They even beat the snots out of one kid for peacefully protesting. Nobody showed up here with hockey sticks, baseball bats, and shields and gas masks.
It's so funny that they're like, we're peacefully protesting while they're like simultaneously not. It's like, look at me peacefully protesting as he's like punching a cop. It's like, dude, I don't get it. Like, we're so peacefully protesting as I'm kicking a cop on the ground.
We just showed up here in a peaceful protest.
Yeah, I think peaceful just means like they're white, right? They were protesting while white.
I think Cruz would want us to do this, so yeah, I think we're good.
And one gentleman says he's a veteran and that he actually is very upset at what's happening. What did you say your name was?
My name is Gene Gilchrist. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I'm a member of Bikers for Trump.
Gene, the situation has gotten violent now. It's getting dangerous in the Capitol. They can't get it under control. Is this okay?
No one here is being violent. No one here.
The Capitol was breached and has become...
Wait. But you say the Capitol was breached. Whose house is that? That is we the people.
Yeah, he's like, no one's being violent. It's my house. That means I can beat you up. Like, it's so awesome. Again, another thing that I said at the time was that they were so aware, or they were so like aware of the cameras everywhere. They had their own cameras. Like, they were so willing and able to reveal information about themselves while they were in the process of engaging in unlawful acts. And you might think that's because they're stupid. And yes, there is truth to that. They are very stupid after all. However, the other reason why they were so willing and able to deliver this information was because they personally were confident that they would not get in trouble. Entitlement. The system had worked for them so far. So why would it be any different now? What? Do this with black people? What do you mean? Up until this moment, if you are the GOAT in your hometown, if you are a small business owner and you have a decent relationship with the police in your small town, you've never had an interaction with cops where like they were anything but your mercenaries, basically. You call the cops when there's like a black customer that scares you a little bit, and they come and they deal with it. Like, that's your relationship with law enforcement. In many instances, I stumbled into your Twitter feed, Hassan. F you. What? Like, you also know the law enforcement in many instances in a small town. So for those guys, they're like, you know, these are our boys. Like, what are they doing? Of course I'm going to tell them what my name is. Of course I'm going to tell them what I'm doing. After all, you know, they work for me. This is the people's house. This is my house. Right? This is my house. I paid for that helmet. It's true to a certain degree. There's truth to what they're saying. But I don't think, like, in many instances, I don't think black people, for example, while there is truth to that statement, will be so entitled as to say that to the face of a cop and not expect like any real retaliation, right?
People's house. That is the United States of America Capitol.
Okay, we got.
Well, they said it to the reporter. No, I'm talking. I mean, they said it to the cops too. They were yelling at the cops, being like, "Take your helmet off. That's my helmet. I paid for it. Like, join us. Join us. What are you doing? Why don't you just join us?" You know?
I gotta let you. Thank you very much.
We do things as a democracy with order. We don't do stuff like this, and it's insane, and the president's tweets have been insane, and the president needs to show leadership right now, bring out the DC Guard, bring order to this so we can go forward with our constitutional responsibility, and every member of Congress after this should not be voting to object to this election because this is nothing short of an attempt to take over the government.
Election treason? The guys of this?
One of the most critical times in government, when Congress is on the verge of certifying a new president, and we get this.
What happened? What happened? What happened?
Bro, like, liberal media is so funny because Fox News is also still liberal, right? Like, they're conservative, but they're still liberal ideologically. And that's why, like, they operate in the same way that liberal media always going to, where they're like, they still have, like, reverence for the institutions. I feel like you are trying to imply that police treat black people differently. Do the protesters know they're trespassing? You're picking up on the clues that I'm putting down. Congratulations, Chatter.
The cops
did it. I am implying that.
Are you serious?
It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming.
That's right, we did it!
We have overtaken the building and wondering if the media hears us now.
The moment they shot, everybody fucking backed up and fell. Almost a stampede. There was a puddle of blood and they swept her away and then immediately started lying that nothing happened in there. It was fucking cop when he kicked us out. The girl's gone. Nobody knows.
My favorite was like the now MAGA communists before they made that full MAGA communist grift turn. At this point, we're still behaving like they were actually communists and like leftists and would say things like, no, actually, this is good. Like, we, the people, like, these guys are real patriots. Like, what they're doing is actually totally valid and just. Like, I remember. Like, they were defending January 6th.
Where the fuck she went? They swept her away.
They were lying. Said nothing happened.
The cops are
That
lying.
is bullshit.
It's fucking bullshit. We pay their checks.
If there's any media here, I don't see any media.
Yeah, these are real, you know, working class guys that are demonstrating their anger at the government. Like, it's good. It's valid.
Proud Boys are here. I don't see Antifa. It's all protesters saying stop the steal.
We're here fighting for this country, and they're fucking killing us inside.
Was she a protester with the...
She was with us, and fucking peaceful, I might add.
Jesus Christ! We invoke your name! Amen! Amen!
Somebody went out and threw a big firecracker in there. Hey man, thank you for your service. What's your name? Where are you from?
Ona siyasal İslamcı diyenler çok komik abi. Kardeş, benim siyasal İslamcı bir halim var mı sence? Hani beyin selin olmaması lazım herhalde. Bir de Amerikalıların yanındasın falan gibi laflar ediyorsun. Bunu Türkçe söylememin sebebi İngilizce anlayış olma ihtimali yok sende herhalde. İngilizce konuşabilseydin söyleyeceğin şeylerin geri zekalılığını anlayabilirdin.
Ben Silva. Washington State. Thank you for your service. Thank you.
What did the president say to you when you called him?
He put out a tweet as well for people to stay safe, for people to not do this. I was explaining to him what was going on.
Talk to you, buddy, and go home.
And that was that?
Yes.
Okay.
We, the people!
Nancy. They're saying that like positively. They're just fans of Nancy, dude. They're Nancy Pelosi fans, dog. They just wanted to see her.
Violently entered the United States Capitol and are attempting to disrupt what is going on, which is supposed to be the peaceful transition of power. This is wrong. It is absolutely wrong. It is un-American. Period.
If we give up, it's over for us. Every futuristic movie that they showed, some dystopia, whatever like that, it's going to come true. If we allow this to happen, this has to be.
What is this accent? Is he from like Louisiana? What is that?
A daily thing. This is a lifestyle.
And the objectors over the last 2 days have told me there is no problem with just having a debate. We know we're not going to succeed, so we're just going to object. We're going to have a debate. We'll voice people's concerns, and then we won't actually overturn our entire system of representative government, so nothing bad will happen. There will be no cost to this effort. This is the cost.
I thought it was like Cajun, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, we didn't come to be pacified.
I know.
Okay.
Where are we going?
Please what?
Are you upset about this shit? I am, but listen, we can't destroy the place. We're not the place. We're not liberals. We don't burn shit down. We're coming for them. That's all. That's
He's like, come on, you don't understand. We're just here to kill the congresspersons. We're not liberals. We don't burn stuff down. We're only here to kill congresspersons. Wait, and also someone said, I am.
We're not liberals. We don't burn shit down. We're coming for them. That's all. That's the thing, though.
I am.
Where are they? You know they're not here. Where are they at? They're in their states, their homes. They're not here.
Where's their home?
We're here.
It's our house and we give you permission to break that.
Finally, it comes. I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Yeah.
We haven't heard from
He still doesn't tell everybody to go home at this
the
point.
president on that mode to get.
No, I'm not going to miss Grand Theft Auto January 6th because it's in an hour. It's in an hour. It's in an hour and 13 minutes. So no, I will not be missing Grand Theft Auto January 6th. I know when it's going to be. Chat, I know when it's going to be. Okay? It's going to be in an hour and 13 minutes. Are you happy? Please. Please, RP chatters. I know. I know when it's going to happen. You did it. You finally did it. You broke me. It's been a year. It's been a good year. 6 days so far, and I'm losing it. How do you fucking know? Are you a QAnon pig? Yes, I'm QAnon. I'm Q.
The National Guard involved in this. You remember, and all of these uprising, protests, looting in different cities, he was very quick to say that the governors and the mayor.
I need my Capitol Police to just like silence the chat.
Should call the National
Silence
Guard,
the little
that
piglets
he
in
would get
here, the
an
little
in and
RP
we cleared
piglets
out-
who are oinking and oinking and oinking, developing a sense of entitlement not dissimilar to the Ashley Babbitts of the world. Okay? Y'all are trying to do an insurrection in here. Chill.
Out in a minute.
This is the most significant breach of an American.
RP people are not unbearable. They're the most passionate. That's why. But they're not passionate about anything else. Like, even if they're politics Andes, like, once they become RP frogs, they only are RP. They're ride or die RP people. It definitely is like, it definitely is a thing. It's just very strange. Some people like it all, but that's rare. Most people that are really, really, really invested in RP become like permanent RP guys. I had a guy in here, HBizzle13. Okay? HBizzle13 literally works for the DNC. He's the UAW DNC guy. Okay? Straight up, like directly in politics. Okay? Directly in politics. Like, this is a politics Andy. Very long time community member. Used to duke it out with him regularly about stuff, like about the intricacies of like, labor politics in the Democratic Party. Okay, are you out like that? No. I've like interviewed him and stuff. It's open. He literally no longer is in here. The last time he probably chatted in here was like 3 years ago at this point. No, he's not banned. He's just not in here. You want to know why? Because he got so invested in role play that he left the community, and there are many like him. Okay? The legend says that to this day, you can see him, if you want to see him in like S-Fans chat, or you can see him in Das Medi's chat. You can see him in the Buddha chat. Because he left, he was literally, and is still a political person. Like, that's his job. And he left never to return. He's watching Buddha right now. Yup. Some people come from the RP community and become politics frogs. That happens as well. But the thing is, roleplay is crack cocaine for the agoraphobic. It is. H. Bizzle 26. This was 6/20/2023. He said 51 months. Holy fuck, we almost had 6 years of Hasan. That is wild. Okay? Very rarely does he come in here. If you look back in the day before RP, I'm going to click back in here. Like in 2021, look how much he's tweeting. Look how much he's posting. And then it stops. Nothing in 2022. Barely. That's the RP brain rot. But yeah, RP is like really, really, really good. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it broke me as well. But my point is, it definitely breaks people. Like, it definitely gets people super, super invested. Kind of impressive you even noticed. If you are, dude, I read chat nonstop. I read chat for 8 to 9 hours every day. You guys know this. I know a lot of my chatters. Yeah. I used to joke about this all the time. I probably have lost like formative memories because I know incredibly weird things that I shouldn't know about chatters. So that's part of the reason why a lot of people enjoy. Yeah, see? Yeah, one of the reasons you quit, it makes you really invested. I had a friend that stopped watching you when you quit RP. Yeah. It gets you really, really, really invested. It got me really invested as well. So this is the reason why this time around I am taking it a little bit slowly. I'm taking it slowly. And I'm not getting like super duper invested on purpose. Like, I'm enjoying it, I'm appreciating it, but I don't want to dump like tens of hours into it like last time.
Government institution since the Battle of Bladensburg, August 24th, 1814, when the British came and burned the Capitol and also burned the White House. We have never had an instance of an incursion inside the U.S. Capitol.
I am going to go on the insurrection. I'm going to participate in it.
Let's be clear. The mob upended American democracy today as they try to count the Electoral College.
Yeah, I'm doing crack recreationally.
I need support!
Guys, you know who's a RP frog too? Like H3H3's very own producer Sam, who literally made the Clean Boys. There's RP frogs everywhere, okay? She made the Clean Boys poster, which back there you can't see it right now because I swapped it around a little bit. Like, that's literally, there's RP frogs everywhere, okay? Everywhere. Yeah, before she worked at H3. Dolce Amico, thank you for the 5 year sub. I do think it's pretty funny that like they're doing this with like dramatic music and it's supposed to be like super serious. Like the tone of the coverage is supposed to be super serious, and I'm over here laughing at like it's just like so fucking stupid that they did all this. Can we please finish the video so I can go watch Moon Moon RP, please? Take a day off. How about that? How about let me accelerate that process for you? Go watch him now. It's so annoying. I'm literally gonna go and participate in January 6th in a second. Are you okay? Don't be rude. That's crazy. Is this the cop that killed himself afterwards? Like, that's crazy, dude. They got big time, okay? They got big time.
We let you go!
The deep state. I don't care if I die in this endeavor. If they come to try to take my guns, they can take it out of my cold, dead hands.
I think one of the more important events of this day, by the way, is that because of the retaliation to those who participated in January 6th by the federal government, this was one of the first instances where people recognized that, oh, my actions have a reaction by the feds, and maybe I can no longer get away with anything that I think I can get away with. And that's part of the reason why there are significantly less people that participate in events such as this one now. Like, they learned that there are consequences to their actions, that they can't get away with just behaving in this way, that at the top of the hour there is a 3-minute ad break, and unless you subscribe, unless you take the necessary actions, like, you're not going to be able to get away with not seeing an ad. No Charlottesville 2. To be fair, this is more significant than Charlottesville. Charlottesville 1 showed Nazis, specifically, that they can't participate in their Nazi behavior publicly like that without being unmasked and getting, like, the social stigma that carries along for the rest of their lives. But these guys are regular old hogs. There are certainly Nazis there, too. But they're regular old hogs that didn't participate in Charlottesville. They probably looked at Charlottesville and were just like, yeah, some of those are bad guys, but there's very fine people on both sides. Like, this is the real backbone of America, okay? And yeah, just like those hogs, you should also find out at the top of the hour that, you know, you can maybe get lucky and get gifted a sub, but if you don't subscribe, you're probably going to see a 3-minute ad break right now.
We need EMTs now!
So I'm not keen on violence and breaking in doors, but outside of that, there's been no violence. And after hearing all summer long how city after city getting burned down was a largely peaceful protest, this is actually what a largely peaceful protest looks like. People concerned about what they've seen.
Aside from the violence, there's not been a lot of violence. It's a funny way to
their
approach
voices be
this.
heard.
Hey, Natalie,
So here we are
51.
at
Thank you for the 10
Capitol.
gifted.
Lots of people upset, and I would recommend that our leaders figure out how to run free and fair elections. So
They also live in pure fantasy world where they're like, every city, every big city's in ruins. And it's like, no, it's not. How can you actively participate in a riot and then simultaneously say it's not a riot and then say all of those other riots actually ruin cities, they're on fire, when you personally are experiencing the riot that you're engaging in, going, it's not that big of a deal. You can't have both of those thoughts in the same brain at the same time.
and if they are free and fair, then you better figure out how to make people believe they're free and fair. That's what I'm getting at. All right.
You gotta look at this. They killed an American girl. I turned it on once I got to the scaffolding. And then I just stayed underneath the scaffolding.
You were there, dude.
Yeah, wait till you get closer.
Fox News has learned that a shooting victim was transported from the U.S. Capitol about 35 minutes ago. No other details yet, but that timeline would sync up with the conversation we had with Kevin McCarthy right when we came on the air around 3 o'clock East Coast time, when he heard a call come over the Capitol Hill Police radio that shots had been fired inside.
Hey, those are all good people up there. You don't need none of that.
It's Adam Kinzinger, sometimes a Trump critic, a Republican from Illinois. This is a coup attempt. Tom Cotton, very conservative senator from Arkansas. Violence and anarchy are unacceptable. We are a nation of laws.
Yeah, when they were on the other side, on the receiving end, all of a sudden they're chirping real different, bro.
But a lot of people saying, these are your supporters, sir. The only one who can get them to stand down and leave is you.
But if you guys could help me extract these people, I'd appreciate it.
They're not going to leave. You want them to leave?
No, they can stay there. I just need to get the other officers out.
Oh, you need to get
They're scared.
I can do that.
They go out the side door just like we did.
Interesting. Cop with a MAGA hat. Again, a lot of people were asking that the day of, like, why are they able to get in so easily? Why are they able to get in so easily? And I told you why they were able to get in so easily. Because 86% of the police force, according to Police Magazine, in the 2016 election, voted for Donald Trump. Now, this doesn't mean 14% actually voted for. No, that's not a survival tactic. No. 86% of the American police force voted for Donald Trump in the 2016 election, according to Police Magazine. This does not mean that 14% voted for Hillary Clinton, however. 7% of the police force also voted for Gary Johnson, who is a libertarian. Which, like, unironically doesn't make sense. Like, libertarianism is supposed to be antagonistic to the concept of police.
It's time to go down the side. Okay, if you guys just announce it, I can help. You can help? Okay, you can either use my megaphone and I'll follow you.
Who do you got to get out?
It's about 10 officers up there.
They need to go to the side, man. They can get out and go down the stairs. Just like we did. There's stairs on the side, they can go out.
Housekeepers.
The cops are leaving. Make the hole. The cops are leaving. And
There's these doors. They shot her through that window. She was with this Capitol cop and that cop were standing right next to her, all three of them peaceful. And some asshole decided to snipe her through that window from like 20 feet away. I feel sorry for these two bastards because they were just like standing there like, holy shit, why did they just do that? They shot that girl right in front of
So we took the Capitol.
Yes. Yeah.
And now we have to hold it through the 20th.
And the other thing I can't help but notice or mention is that, you know, look, the president incited this, and it's his obligation to try to mitigate it to the extent that at this point it can be mitigated, which means it's not enough to say, stay peaceful. He needs to tell people to go home.
We have the building.
Alexia Antonella, thank you for the podcast.
They're withdrawing. There's nobody else inside.
What do you mean there's nobody else inside?
We just extract them. This is the cops. The building's yours.
So I may or may not have been in the Capitol and heard a bang, and someone came running out, and they had a picture on their phone.
Do you think we will see a similar movement if Trump loses, or did they all die of COVID? No, we will not see a similar movement, I think, if Trump loses. Anime, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Because I told you, this happened already. And because this happened, they found out very quickly that, like, you will get in trouble for participating in this.
It was taken on their phone right there. They had other, bro, it was right on their phone. It wasn't bullshit, bro. So a woman had gotten shot in the chest, and they say it's a rubber bullet, and they say it's in the neck. But I saw a bullet wound right here in her chest and blood all behind her on the floor. And that she was limp, and the cops were carrying her out, man. Bro, they're not fucking around, and they don't treat Antifa like this. Ask yourself why they don't treat Antifa like this.
Wait, what?
Hey,
if you ain't gonna fight, go back down. Let the people come to fight. Let them come up.
Gina Bisignano is a real estate person who literally flew in on a PJ, I think, and flew out on a PJ too. And was tweeting about how,
these people,
you know,
will be arrested as soon as they leave the building. They're easily identifiable, and they have threatened the peace and safety of the United States Capitol. And I think that it's very striking that we have not seen the president yet. Tweets do not seem to do the trick at this moment. I think we need to see the president. I think he needs to speak to the country. And I think being in front of the camera is the only way that, you know, might sort of bring that message home at this very unstable time.
I want to bring in Laura Ingram, who joins our coverage. Laura, I don't know what you have been doing today.
Kids are gonna grow up in this country, and I want them to respect the police. I want them to respect my house. And that makes us different. We will stand our ground, but the police are the problem.
damn, that ass be farting. At 4 p.m., this dude finally gets out and is like, all right, I guess it's time to make a message. I guess it's time to just, you know, tell everybody to go home. You're all beautiful. Go home. 4 p.m. I'm sorry. He 100p was sitting there watching and just dropping a load, okay? There's no way. There's just no way. He loved it. He loved it. He watched it and he loved every moment of it. And he thought, it's so sick that they're doing this for me. They love me. They love me and I love them.
When you're ready, sir.
Yep. Be right back.
You tell me when.
When you're ready, sir.
Who's behind me?
He's gone around. We're all clear now.
He was busy throwing a tantrum. No, he wasn't throwing a tantrum because he was like upset that his hogs were fighting. He was throwing a tantrum because Mike Pence wasn't following through and like betraying the Constitution. That's why he was throwing a tantrum. He was upset. He was upset that they, you know, Mike Pence had said no to him. Okay? If anything, like I said, I believe that he personally was doing this to be like, well, I'll show you, Mike Pence. I'm not going to stop.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had a election. Let me see.
I'm the only one with a shield, so I don't know why no one else brought a shield, but I brought one just in case they start shooting. So make sure if you ever take over the Capitol or any other big
this guy's definitely drunk
place, make sure you bring a shield. You can't get this anywhere except for the cops' hands. All right, guys, thanks for watching.
I've delayed coming out.
Wait, I didn't know that. Wait, Donald Trump Jr. texted Mark Meadows freaking out? That's sick. This I did not know. Even Donald Trump Jr. was like, come on, dog. What are we doing? What are we doing? He has to stop this.
I've delayed coming out to speak to you. I initially was going to talk about the economy. But all of you have been watching what I've been watching. At this hour, our democracy is under an unprecedented assault. What we're seeing are a small number of extremists dedicated to lawlessness.
I hate the Democrats so much. God, I mean, he seems a lot better here than he is now, but I hate the Democrats so much. Why do I hate the Democrats so much? Because even here, he's literally doing defense for the Republican Party. There's not like a single Republican that didn't want January 6th to happen. Maybe like one or two. They're all cowards who, in that very moment, when push came to shove and they were on the other side of the insurrection, were like, oh my God, please stop now. But immediately after, they still said, you know, not the worst thing. And maybe even if it was fake. But even if it wasn't fake, it's actually good. And yet the Democratic Party's leader that is elected is sitting in front of a podium that says office of the president-elect, and he's still going, yeah, you know, it's a small margin. Guys, small margin of the Republican Party. No, it is the Republican Party. It is the Republican Party through and through. I watched a video from this earlier, and you literally said the exact same thing. Manufactured consent, saying it was a small group of extremists. You had the exact same take. Exactly. Of course I had the exact same take. Because the Democratic Party hasn't stopped. Like, the idea that this was like a tiny group of people, oopsie, like they were just a bunch of extremists and not just like regular old Republicans is so dumb. What does he have to gain from doing that? Elaborate. Shame the Republicans that are on board, that associate with this in the same way that Republicans try to destroy the Democratic Party all the time by saying, look, you guys are all a bunch of communists. Force the Republican Party's hand to say, we do not associate with them. If you allow them to say, this is not us, this is not the Republican Party, okay? If you say that for them, they don't even have to separate themselves. they can just go along with being in promotion of the actions on January 6th while simultaneously no punishments are doled out for them. So why does he not do it? To be politically correct? I think they don't do it because, one, they have this weird deference to the institutions. Like they want to defend the institutions, and they think like the Republican Party needs to exist for that reason. And two, they don't like winning. And three, they also love when the Republican Party is there so they can look more moderate in comparison without actually doing anything. Because ultimately, they are still slaves of the same masters. They never stopped doing the whole strong Republican Party nonsense. We need a strong Republican Party. We need a strong Republican Party. We must get a strong Republican Party. They did it over and over and over again, and they kept doing it, and they're still doing it. Democrats are there to normalize the nonsense that Republicans put forward and make it permanent.
This is not dissent. It's disorder. It's chaos. It borders on sedition. Threatening the safety of duly elected officials. It's not protest. It's insurrection.
It's so funny because these guys who do represent the median Republican voter unironically would hear that and go, nah, you're a pedophile. You're a pedophile monster vampire. You suck baby blood. Why is it that the Democrats still look at like Republicans who are straight up like, no, I'm not going to vote for a goddamn Democrat. They're pedophile communists. And they go, actually, you know what? Let's do a bill disavowing communism and disavowing pedophilia. And then maybe these guys will come on board and they'll think we aren't pedophile communists. It's like, no, they won't. They won't ever think that because the other side never says that. The other side and their media organs and those in positions of power regularly keep telling their audience, regularly keep telling their voters that you're a pedophile communist. Okay? So all you do when you're like, oh no, we hate communism too, all you do when you say that, okay? All you do when you say you hate communism at least is basically giving them that and admitting that you're a communist. But you still are trying to say communism is bad. They're never going to stop thinking you're a communist. That's not going to happen. They think communism is bad, and now you're validating that communism is bad, and they still think you're bad. That didn't change, and they still think you're a communist. That's it. These are people who constantly say, Nancy Pelosi is a socialist communist, okay? So when you turn around and you do a bill, you do a messaging bill where you're like, communism is actually the worst thing that's ever happened. We're capitalists. They don't hear that and go, oh, maybe Nancy Pelosi is not a communist at all. Maybe she is a capitalist. No, they don't think that.
Come in for Cobra. Go ahead for Cobra. We're to the left, to the left. Cobra, over and out.
He's having so much fun.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now.
My point is, I wish, more than 960 people have been arrested for taking part in that attack on the Capitol. The FBI is still searching for hundreds of participants, 80 to this day. They're still looking for. They arrested 3 today. So I'm going to hop on and do my very own no pixel insurrection. Okay? January 6th committee concluded by recommending the pursuit for 4 criminal charges against former President Trump, including inciting insurrection. However, one thing I want to say, okay? I know this is what you've been waiting for. By the way, I invented this. Right-wingers loved the main muscle actor for Reacher until they found out this picture of him, so now they're crying because he's left-wing. Alan Richson is his name. Arrested cops who killed Breonna Taylor is a t-shirt that he's wearing, and right-wingers are very mad at this. What's really frustrating to me about this photo is that, one, I invented this, okay, being hot and wearing, like, you know, political message T-shirts on the left. And two, the actual much sadder state of affairs is that half of the country thinks that it is, this automatically signals that you're a leftist and a bad guy. Which blows my mind, okay? It is crazy that is a political issue, that, like, you know, rolling up to the wrong house and, like, executing a person in the house, executing a black nurse in the house is, like, a political thing and not simply a thing that everybody can agree is bad. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. God damn.